Potty accidents are owner error. Ouch, right? If you're literally standing in a puddle on your favorite living room rug right now, that probably stings a bit. But look, if there is one hard truth we can pull from the science of dog training today, it's exactly that. Welcome to today's Explainer. We completely get it. Navigating a new puppy can be incredibly frustrating. But recognizing that we are the ones steering the ship, that is the very first step to a clean house and a really happy dog.
So today, we are unpacking the Puppy Training Toolkit, Bridging the Communication Gap. The whole goal of this explainer is to totally demystify puppy training using proven, science-backed methods. We're going to hand you a clear, step-by-step toolkit to finally get you out of that chaotic puppy phase and into a happy, predictable, and, most importantly, accident-free routine.
All right, let's dive into this. Here is our 5-part survival plan. We're going to cover the puppy training mindset, Crate Training 101, decoding puppy potty signals, building a consistent schedule, and wrap up with avoiding some really common mistakes.
Starting right off with part 1, the puppy training mindset, and bridging that gap.
To actually bridge this communication gap, you have to embrace one absolutely foundational concept. Your puppy just wasn't born speaking your language. They don't inherently know the rules of your house. Every single thing has to be taught. Plus, and the source material really emphasizes this, a puppy's internal bodily system isn't even fully developed until they're about a year old. So, this isn't just about them being stubborn, it is deeply physiological. Now, most puppies can be potty trained by 6 months old, for sure, but your patience and consistent teaching are literally mandatory to help them regulate their growing systems.
Let's move on to part 2, Crate Training 101, and the den instinct.
Okay, to understand this den instinct, we actually have to reframe how we think about confinement. I've got to ask you directly, is a crate cruel? Because if you're feeling a sudden pang of guilt about putting your adorable, tiny new puppy in a cage, well, you are definitely not alone. It is one of the biggest mental hurdles for new owners to overcome.
But the American Kennel Club makes it explicitly clear. Nope, it is not cruel at all. In fact, it taps directly into a dog's natural den instinct. This is their hardwired desire to protect a small, manageable space. Just think of it like a wolf's den. Dogs naturally want to protect their environment, but asking a tiny puppy to watch over a massive multi-room house or even just a studio apartment is incredibly overwhelming for them. A crate gives them a space that's actually manageable, which actively reduces their anxiety and helps them just relax. So when you put this together, you're essentially giving your dog a room of their own. It needs to be safe, cozy with blankets, and have good airflow. But here is the critical point, the size. It should only be large enough for them to stand up, turn around, and lie down comfortably. That's it. If it's too big, your puppy might sleep on one side and then, use the other corner as a bathroom. And obviously that completely defeats the whole purpose of the training.
So, how long is too long to keep them in there? Our sources give us this golden rule of bladder math, 1 hour. More specifically, your puppy can hold it for 1 hour for every month of their age, meaning a 3-month-old puppy maxes out at 3 hours. And honestly, keep in mind that even for fully grown adult dogs, the absolute maximum time in a crate should be 6 to 8 hours.
All right, part 3, decoding puppy potty signals by reading their body language.
Now we're shifting into behavioral communication. Here's the secret. Your puppy actually is trying to tell you they need to go, usually right before an accident happens inside. You just have to know what to look for. Watch for heavy sniffing or circling near you or an exit, and keep in mind it might even be the wrong door. Barking, whimpering, scratching at the floor, sitting suspiciously quiet by a door, or that classic scooching their butt across the floor. But fair warning, by the time they show you these signals, they are a split second away from going. If you see them circling and you have to go frantically hunt for your shoes and a leash, yeah, it's already too late. Have everything staged and ready by the door.
To bridge this gap proactively, our source outlines a pretty brilliant method using potty bells. This is an exact 3-step method to actually give your dog a voice. Step 1, you ring the bells, use a chosen phrase like, "Let's go potty," and then reward them outside immediately after they go. Step 2, you level up. Use a treat to lure your pups so they bump the bells themselves, then reward them outside. Finally, step 3, you just stand near the bells, wait for your pup to ring them entirely on their own, use your phrase, and reward outside. It is a total game changer.
Moving into part 4, building a consistent schedule and structuring the day.
Because puppies don't speak our language, they desperately need a highly consistent schedule to learn how to self-regulate. Think about the rhythm of a daily routine. Looking at the sample schedules from the source material, it's just this constant, predictable cycle of potty, play, and crate. Wake up, immediately go outside. 10 to 15 minutes after a meal, potty break. Done playing, potty break. And in between all these engaging activities, they're resting in their crate. If you keep a written log of this cycle, you'll actually start to naturally notice your own puppy's unique bathroom schedule.
But hey, all potty breaks are not created equal. During the day, these breaks should be engaging, keep them focused, and heavily reward them with treats and praise. But nighttime outings, those need to be incredibly boring. We're talking minimal eye contact, absolutely no playing, just a quiet yes when they go, and then straight back into the crate. Oh, and a golden rule to live by here. Never, ever wake a sleeping puppy. If they sleep through a scheduled night break, just let them sleep.
Which brings us to our final section, Part 5, Avoiding Common Mistakes, the Big No-Nos.
Let's talk about the frequent owner errors that will completely derail your progress. The sources explicitly call these the big no-nos. Never hit your puppy with a newspaper. Never drag them over to an accident and rub their nose in it. And never yell at them. Those old-school, aversive tactics, they only create fear. Your puppy will just think you hate it when they go potty, so they'll start sneaking off to go in hidden corners of the house. Also, no pee pads indoors. They just confuse the dog into thinking your floor is a totally acceptable bathroom. And honestly, they usually just turn into hazardous chew toys. Finally, no free feeding. If you leave food down all day, you have absolutely no idea when their system is going to need to empty.
Now, here's another massive mistake. Just opening the door and letting them run free outside to do their business. Always use a leash for potty breaks. Free roaming puppies get so easily distracted by, a blowing leaf or a bird flying by. They literally forget why they're outside because they're too busy exploring. And the second you bring them back inside, boom, they go on the floor. A leash keeps them completely focused on the job at hand.
And look, when an accident does happen, because let's be real, it will, you have to clean it correctly. If you use standard household cleaners, especially anything ammonia-based, it might smell clean to you, but you are leaving behind chemical markers that only your dog's superpowered nose can detect, which basically acts as a neon sign encouraging them to use that exact spot again. You have to use an enzymatic cleaner, something like Nature's Miracle, to completely neutralize the ammonia in the urine.
So, we come right back to where we started. Let me ask you, are you ready to shape your dream dog? Because the truth is, a dream dog doesn't just happen by accident. As we've seen throughout this explainer, potty training is really about building a foundation of trust. By combining genuine empathy for your puppy's physical limits with a highly structured, predictable routine, you've got the exact toolkit you need to transform a chaotic little puppy into a perfect, lifelong companion. The science is there, the schedule is set, now it's time for you to go bridge that gap. So what other canine mysteries are just waiting for a little translation in your house? Keep observing, keep learning, and we'll catch you next time.